Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. Just got off the phone today with a guy who called me. I've known him for a long time. We're kind of friendly. Never been a client of mine, but he called and said, I've been reading all your stuff on LinkedIn. I listen to your podcast. I love it. It's great. And I just had this situation. And I wonder what you thought about it. He goes, because as soon as I botched this up, I said, wonder what Walker would do. The short version of the story was he's a general contractor, does commercial construction, and they went out for a developer who was doing a project, and they wanted to bid on the project. And he said, we have a relationship, blah, 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 the relationship bullshit, right? And so they submitted a bid for this thing, for this building project, and, sent it off. And then they got a call back a week or two later and said, hey, can you do it this way or that way and give us a credit back, da, 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 da. And so they did that. And he did ask, when are y'all going to come to a decision? And the developer said, well, this Friday. Okay, great. So guess what? This Friday came and went. No phone call. And he said, I called and followed up that Friday afternoon, and I called Monday and I called Tuesday. And finally they said, hey, we're going to decide this upcoming Friday. Sorry, we had a delay. Somebody else involved, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay, great. And the following Friday, when they said they're going to make the decision, guess what? The phone didn't ring. I said, okay, what'd you do? He goes, well, I called them and they never call me back. It's been 4 or 5 days and they still haven't called me back. They ghosted me. What the hell? And I get it, right? He was personally involved. He was personally upset. They'd let him down. They didn't even call him back. The dignity. They had no idea how much time he'd spent on this thing, right? I'm telling you all that he shared, and I get it. Here's the problem. Your prospect doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. They don't care how much time you've spent. They don't care how badly you want the business. They don't care how much this means to you. They don't give a rat's shit about that. They don't care. You know what they care about? They care about what they care about. So the question I asked this guy was, when you asked them how they were going to pick between the bids, what'd they tell you? And he goes, I didn't ask that. I said, okay. I said, maybe they would have told you low price. He goes, yeah, maybe, but I don't really know. I said, okay. And he said, but I did tell him. I wanted to, he said, I should have asked him, what does it take, to win this business? What do we have to do to earn this business? And I said, let me flip that around for you for a second. What if instead you had the mindset of, I need to figure out what it's going to take for you guys to get on our schedule. And I got to figure out if this project is worthy to get on our schedule. And those may not be the words, right? But that needs to be the mindset that you have. I didn't ask him what percentage of the deals he went after that he got. Maybe might not have full insight into that. But my guess is not as many as he thinks. And my guess is he spends a lot of time on deals that he doesn't get. And he relies on the relationship. Right? Oh, sales is all about relationships, but it's not about a friendship necessarily, right? It's a healthy business relationship. And by the way, we can fool ourselves all day long about how great friends we are with people, and they end up doing business with somebody else. And then we say, oh, it must be because of the relationship they had. Bullshit. You got outsold, or you didn't find out exactly how they were going to make a decision, who your competitors were. Big picture is this. I want us to be skeptical that this company, who's done business with that other firm a couple of times in the past, 3, 4, probably maybe multiple times. First, I want to find out, why in the world would you not just hire them again? What would we have to do different other than be cheaper for you to think you'd pick us, right? And before you send the proposal, find out, when are y'all hoping to make this? When are you hoping to pick somebody? Why then? Who else besides you is part of the decision-making process? What do y'all need to see or hear from us to be able to decide who else are you talking to. Just those kind of things before you shoot your proposal over. And by the way, if somebody passes a deadline where they were supposed to call you about a deal, don't call back and say, just call to check in, just call to reach around, just call to circle back. Don't do that shit. Here's your response. If they said they're going to make a decision Friday afternoon, let it go. If you hadn't heard from them by Monday, you pick up the phone, you call, and you leave them a voice message. John, it's Walker. Never heard back from you. I'm assuming y'all have gone a different direction. No big deal. I'll close your file. Look forward to our paths crossing again soon. Click. All right? People are like, I don't want to tell them to close the file. I don't want to say that they might never call me again. Bullshit. Right? You're not threatening to close the file. You're offering to close the file because you're busy. And this deal, right? They don't care how much it means to you. They don't care. And if you close the file and they'll either call you back pretty quickly and say, no, please don't close my file. Here's what's happened. Or they don't call you back, but you've already pushed yourself off emotionally from it. If you're pissed off because your deal didn't close, that's really not a problem with that deal. That's a problem with your pipeline. It's a problem with your being too emotionally involved. I mean, if you had 10 deals like this stacked up and one of them didn't work out, how would you feel? Probably not so bad. Keep prospecting, keep looking for new deals, be skeptical. This person you're talking to is ready to make a change, right? Find out how they're going to pick and why they'd change the way they always do it. That's the beginning of learning how to sell the right way. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Want to learn more? Go to walkermckay.com. Buy my book, Some Will, Some Won't, So What? Who's Next? On Amazon. Thanks. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.